So yeah, this is AI visibility, how your brand service will understand in 2026 the office hours of Snappy Kraken. So if you are brand new to understanding what Snappy Kraken is and who we were just named the #1 organic growth platform in September by Michael Kitces, which is very exciting for our team. It's all based on advisor satisfaction. So we take that very seriously when we are building out the tool. We've been doing this the last 10 years, and we help advisors in a couple of key ways. So the way that we're helping advisors grow 7 times faster really is broken down into three things. The first is automation. We have award-winning automation, sophisticated types of campaigns that are going to be omni-channel. And omni-channel is just a jargon word for multi-step, multi-channel. So that's social posts, emails, text messages, really all of the best ways to be able to be visible and connect with people. Now, the automation is one point, but coupling that with content, being able to use different campaigns to build value for your prospects, engage with your clients, generate new leads. We have a huge content library, about 250 campaigns for all different aspects of your firm. So we'll go through that more in detail, but all of that is layered on top of an analytics dashboard. It's very important as a marketing firm and company to be able to be transparent about our results. So you have those to be able to make better business decisions too. I'll go through some of our lead scoring systems, a lot of the AI tools that are packed into the library for the automation, for the content, and then to be able to track a lot of these results. So for the last 10 years, we've built over 1 million marketing campaigns and deployed those for advisors only. So we only work with financial services, both with independent advisors, with broker dealers. We have about 7,000 advisors that we service, 200 enterprises. So it's not a one size fits all. You're going to find a solution that is great for a solo advisor, someone who does not have marketing support, wants to be able to use the tool, but also wants to be able to partner with Snappy Kraken and really have an aide or like an account manager that can help you run it. Then there's going to be solutions for large enterprises, people that have a number of advisors that they're managing, want to have additional controls. Now, for the most of this conversation, it's going to be focused on solo advisors or multi-seat firms. So advisors who have three to four advisors. But you'll still see the seat if you are an enterprise. If you want to take a deeper look, my calendar is going to be available at the end as well. We could also book a follow-up if you want to go more in depth. But I'm sure you notice a lot of these logos at the bottom. There's some of our partners. We have, a lot more, but these are some of the great ones that we work with closely. And over the last 5 years, I've had hundreds of demos with advisors and with partners. And you hear some of the same roadblocks that come up pretty often. So when we think about lack of time, Snappy Kraken is very helpful in creating these pre-built campaigns. They're turnkey. They're ready for you to send out. We already market test them for thousands of advisors to know that they work well. Most firms come in, they want to have a strong strategy. They have the best intent in growing their firm, but having the right strategy and execution and tools becomes tough to try to build it on your own. So maybe you're in that seat where you're spending a lot of time trying to build this, seeing what's working, wanting to know, best things to send out, but it's not resulting in very much ROI. So that's something that we solve for too, especially with our analytics and our tracking. So we'll go through that. And then for firms who may be doing lead generation, there's a number of great lead generation tools out there. Being able to plug those right into our system, follow up with them in the most appropriate ways, and convert is ultimately a big differentiator for Snappy Kraken. We do have a large amount of communication, but we also focus on lead gen, lead capture, and that's unlike a lot of tools in the industry. Compliance, obviously, we work with advisors only, so making sure that it's FINRA reviewed and easy to get approved is a goal of ours as well. And then the last thing is we are the most integrated tool in the industry for marketing. So simplifying your operation, allowing it to all work together is what we build towards. And I'll go through that, what an integrated tool set looks like, getting away from this like Frankenstein deck of tools that don't interact with each other and become frustrating. So we go through all of these. If there's anything specific, that people are struggling with that you want to put in the chat now, that can help me guide the conversation and maybe focus on some of those points. So if you're trying to solve for any of these, they're pressing, please let me know and I'll try to hone in on them a little bit more. Now, when we think about an integrated tech stack, we call that our modern growth stack. What worked a few years ago, riding on referrals only, that referral game is not as strong as it once was, and it's not the only way to grow. So when we think about what the best managed firms are doing, how they're growing fastest with 7 times growth, they have something like this in place. Now, we are a tech tool. We have limitations like any of them do. And where we have limitations, we often integrate with additional tools. So what you see outlined in blue, that's the Snappy Kraken strengths. That's how we support advisors. What you see in gray, those are the integrations that we bring in so that all of your tools can work seamlessly together. Now, excuse me, our goal is to help you drive traffic. So helping you attract new contacts, largely that's done through your website. With our websites, we pack it with SEO. We even have an AEO visibility package that helps you to attract people through chat recommendations or additional AI tools. But when people jump onto your website or even your social platforms, you need to be able to capture their information. Again, differentiating our content from a lot of what you've seen in the industry. There are lead captures where you can actually get people's information to automatically follow up with them. It actually triggers a response, so you don't have to do it manually. If you're doing outside lead sources, a lot of firms are. So if that's the case, they also can jump right into the tool with some of our AI lead source so that you don't have to manually add these people in one by one, but instead they can automatically get a systematic follow-up from you. Now, the nurturing sequences, you can use those without the data enrichment, but if you are trying to qualify your leads, we also have a tool called Catchlight that we integrate with, can help to segment people. We have a more targeted approach with different audience types. It's another option, but regardless if you use that or not, nurturing your prospects for anywhere from 2 to 10 weeks long. Our campaigns are built to convert. They give easy access points to book onto your calendar, or they can fill out forms or even give you a direct call. But a lot of options, very easy to connect. And those sequences are built to convert. So when they do, and you book that meeting, your sales process begins, and they land a new client, then our whole client engagement model is built around servicing your clients to the best of their ability. It's really thinking about being present without having to be present. So things like onboarding sequences or timely updates about what's going on with the DAO, what that means, what it doesn't mean. And I'll show you some of these examples to come. But as all of it's happening, we're driving traffic, we're nurturing prospects, we're engaging with clients. We are also tracking your contacts' every move. So if they open, if they click, if they watch a video, our AI tools are taking that in and they'll show you the patterns and give you a lead score for all of your contacts. Now, this system, it is built on top of your CRMs and for larger enterprises, data lakes. So we have a direct integration with the majority of the large CRMs, two-way sync, and it's also an immediate sync. That becomes important for some lead gen. So this is a lot of information all at once, but the idea is that we simplify this entire process for you. All of our content, all of our solutions are built so that you can have this running in the background, even if you are not, the one having to actually set it all up. Now, for those who are focused on lead gen or even driving in new referrals, the common issue is that we are running this leaky pipeline. In the majority of my demos, I'll talk to people that want to do 2 out of these 5 steps. They want to attract new contacts and they want to convert them, which is, in a perfect world would happen every time. But there are important parts in between, like engaging and nurturing so that you can convert. But when we have this leaky pipeline and you attract a new contact, but you don't follow up with them in a timely manner, or it's manual and everyone gets different items, then they fall through the cracks. Or maybe you're not selling something that is relevant, like something compelling, a retirement guide, a tax opportunity PDF, something that will really attract their attention to want to engage with you. The whole goal is to create a system. Snappy Kraken can be just that, or you can build this, but ultimately an ecosystem that all of your contacts lead through, that you can track easily and that no one falls through the cracks. So if you are in the seat right now, we're getting contacts, they're coming in from different places. Some of them are getting nurtured, others are sitting on a list. I would really tune in to exactly how to set this system up. We make it very easy. We actually can do it for you too. But it allows you to, one, to stop missing opportunities, right? Instead of converting some, if you have a list of, a couple hundred people, there's a lot of opportunity in converting those people. So moving away from this leaky pipeline and having a system, I want to walk through one example of probably hundreds of sequences within our library. When we think about like what we need to send creatively, a lot of people are building some of these sequences out manually, but this is the game plan of what a lead should get. And not just one lead, but every single lead that you meet should go through a sequence like this. The first step is how you help. Now you can customize this first step on the timeline. You can add a testimonial, you can add a welcome video. You see a really high open rate and click through when you start to add in those more testimonial style social proofs to people. Then you're going to want to send something that's more persona appropriate. It can also fit in with your services, something like a retirement guide, tax planning guide for high earners, right? You can dictate what's going to be best for you. You have full control. As that continues during the timeline over the next 10 weeks, you're going to be continuing to engage, send things that are compelling, showing social proof of your firm and how you help. And we're tracking all of that to show you who is most engaged with the most intent. Those leads that have the most intent will be highlighted for you. You can act on them quickly. And then we'll recommend a personal message that you can send to them based on a lot of the actions that they take. So this is one example of hundreds already pre-built. These are simply, you find the contacts you want to send these to, and in a few minutes you could have this up and running and sent out. And then you can just add new contacts in. They can all go through the same sequence.
One thing on this that I think might be worth pointing out too is a lot of this can be automated, right? So you set this up once and it's good to go. And the other thing is if you're looking at this and it feels like a lot to do or a lot to build, we do create marketing plans that would have all of this laid out for you. So you get a monthly marketing plan every single month. And if you just go through and launch those recommended campaigns, which is about one per week, you're going to end up building the equivalent of this just by following the plan.
It's a good point. These are completely automated. So as they're set up, new leads funnel in, and they all go through that same process. If you're looking at this black line, it's like a scheduler of when these items will go out for you. But it is important to note that without a strategy behind the content that you're sending, it's going to be just spinning your wheels, right? And so instead, you can use this type of strategy that we know is tried and true. You can also partner with us. You can have an account manager that sets all of this up for you, really puts it into play, make sure that it's covering all your bases with lead gen and prospecting and client engagement. And I'm going to show you that content in just a moment. But those account managers are really going to be there to help guide that process so you're consistent and the frequency that you need to really convert and attract new people is already in play. So there's never going to be a month that you go out without, content on your behalf. Those account managers are quite useful. So a couple different ways to be able to use this, but nonetheless, the automation is already pre-built. Now, we have collected data on the thousands of advisors that we service. We've analyzed about 250 million data points, and we implement this type of data into the content and the strategy that we've created. So without this type of data, trying to build this yourself becomes quite frustrating. And instead of having to redesign the wheel, we've already built that. Right now, you can just start to get momentum and more traction, move quicker, and really leverage the strategy and the tools that we've already built. So let's talk about a couple of these different tactics, right? Websites is a big part. It's the foundation of almost every firm. And a lot of people make the mistake of having a siloed website, lives on an island of their own. It's out there. It looks okay. People check you out. They know you're active, but it's not really yielding any results. So instead, Snappy Kraken gives an option to build something that's more high performing, one that can attract people and then again, capture their lead. So going back to that strategy, attracting, driving traffic, capturing their lead once they're there, and then nurturing them automatically. Now, the way that we build high-performing sites is built on a couple things. One, SEO. So all the jargony things like long tail keywords and meta tags and backlinks, things like that. But then there's even AI discoverability, which people are using more and more to find the best advisors near them. We have a whole package that can allow you to build the right pillars on your site so that you may be in those recommendations too. Now, there's also just the ability to customize our websites. You can add your videos. You can make them look specific to the different types of client profiles that you service, but it should all tie back in to your content strategy so that they are working in sync and you're managing them all from one space. Now, when we think about SEO and the importance of that, there's a major advantage to those who use our SEO packages in AEO. A huge increase in new visitors versus those who don't. Same thing with people who are interacting with your site, and same things with the pages viewed. So without the site, without the SEO, you can still drive some traffic, but there are simple tools that our team will implement onto the back end of yours to nearly double your type of engagement. So it's worth adding that in. Now, interacting your content or your website with your content, they should go hand in hand. And inside of our library, we have a different types of campaigns that we build. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see the different types. So a couple things that differentiate us. If you're looking at us and you may be using a tool right now, some of the things that really stand out, one is our lead generation tools. This middle section is an example of one of those sequences. It is a busy screen. This is something that is pre-built for you. You can turn it on and it'll go off to your contacts, and it'll also post social posts for each of the Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter posts. And then as people interact with it, they're sent to a landing page that is compelling. They can either book a meeting with you, download a PDF. But if you see these little post emails down here, these are the follow-ups that are triggered automatically as people engage with you. So again, our campaigns are much more sophisticated than what we've probably seen for a long time compared to like a newsletter. We have those too. Those are things like our timely emails. We also have more educational topics like visual insights newsletters. And then they're all based on different audience types. So we want to move away from just like this general sending content to everyone getting the same thing, and instead have something that's more relevant to different types of groups. That's where we see the highest conversion. So you may be an advisor who works with business owners, as well as maybe pre-retirees, but you don't work with the next gen. So you get to have full control in Snappy Kraken where your content goes and who it goes to. And that's something that we think and find to be really positive with our content. Now, here's an example. Does anybody on this call do events or seminars and are looking for additional resources to either RSVP or to follow up? I'll leave it in the chat for just a second, see if anybody is doing that. I don't see many, so I will just kind of briefly go through this. But if you do decide to do any types of events, we already have these RSVPs. They're all customizable, really easy to add in the details, and you can send people out these invites. They can directly RSVP from there. Now, another aspect is the follow-up. So once people come to an event, the next step is to be there right afterwards. And so these are a couple of examples. They're both emails and texts, but they're different than what we just saw on the lead gen, and that's by design. These ones really kind of release all the fluff of additional education. You've already done that in a lot of these events, and instead follows up with easy access points to you. So they have a different goal in mind, and that is to be able to convert people. They have your calendar, form people can fill out. They can also call you, so it's pretty easy. And if they do, confirmation email to remind them that that meeting's coming up. Now, this is text and email, so you'll have the ability to have both. But there's a big difference in those who do just the short-term follow-up versus those who are open to long-term. After the event, there's a small percentage of people that will automatically convert, but most of your conversion will come from long-term nurturing. That's where having these systems in place for maybe you're not doing them right this second, but you may think about doing them in the future. These long-term nurturing can make a big difference in the revenue that you're driving for the firm.
I think, can we go
Yeah,
back to that slide real quick too?
go ahead,
Because I think
Mike.
this is really important, certainly for events, but really for any lead gen at all, where you are paying for leads, right? When you run an event, you're investing in that event. When you pay for leads from Smart Asset, Dave Ramsey, anywhere, you're investing in those leads. And only a very small portion of them are going to convert immediately. The way that you get the most out of your marketing investment is in that long-term nurture. And that's what Snappy Kraken is really, really good at. So I just wanted to highlight that point because I think that's super important.
It's true. Yeah, it's not going to be just the event. You may just meet people organically. It could even be a referral that has potentially booked even their first call with you. And then life gets busy. They move on for the time being and they lose track of connecting with you. Continuing to stay top of mind for when that time comes that they do need to talk to someone seriously, that keeps you in the conversation and then they can easily reach out when the time is right. So the long-term nurturing makes a big difference. Thinking about video, Mike, do you have any data and not hate to put you on the spot like that, but I know video is a really hot topic in the industry. It's something that we focus on a lot at Snappy Kraken, both in our websites. A lot of our websites are easily to put your videos on, whether they're made personally or use some of the ones that we have, but also our personal connection video scripts. These are compliant scripts that we've pre-built for advisors to be able to read themselves, record, and then add into a campaign that could be distributed through email and social platforms. But I know that we have some pretty strong data on some of like the open rates, click-throughs, conversion on video. Mike, do you have any words you wanted to share on what video can do to your marketing?
Yeah, totally. Put me on the spot. I don't
I
have
know,
I don't have
sorry.
all of the data right here that I would like to have, but video marketing is so massively impactful. I think everybody knows this. It's why when you go on to or just look at TikTok, right? TikTok as a platform is massive. It's just built on video. It's why Instagram has Reels, Facebook, right? Video is incredibly powerful. I mean, a couple stats that we put in a recent blog post and some of the reasons why video is so powerful. Um, so one widely cited benchmark shows that viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch it in video. So video is really good at helping people retain a message. 85% of people say that they've been convinced to buy a product or service after watching a brand's video, right? So, and I think in the advisor space, especially, video is just really good at building trust, building relationship. And we do have these personal connection videos, but we should also mention that we have a brand new ready video, which is a done for you video that you can launch, right? So the personal connection video campaigns has a script for you to record a video, makes it really, really easy to record and distribute a video. But we also have a brand new campaign type, this ready video. You can just launch it. The first one was called When's the Right Time to Hire a Financial Advisor? And that allows you to launch a video and get the benefits of video marketing in minutes, instead of however long it might take you. For some people, it may take just an hour or so, and some people may take quite a bit longer to record their own videos. And certainly, produce videos can take, man, done this weeks, months, sometimes, and on a big budget. So, video is awesome, and we're trying to do everything we can to make it accessible for advisors and firms.
Yeah. Yeah, video is a big part, and it's really easy. The way that this campaign operates, you can record the video on anywhere. It could be on Zoom clips. It's an example of where I record. It could also live on YouTube or Vidyard, whatever's best. All you need is the link. You can drop it into the campaign, and then the rest of it is made for you. The landing page, the form for people to fill out, the social post, the email. It's already done for you. The only thing you need to do is actually record the video. So we make it as easy as possible. Now, these are about 30 to 60-second scripts. So you can do these, as frequently as you'd like. But I just got off a call with an advisor before. We were talking about these videos, talking about these personal connections and how this entire industry is built on personal connection and having more meaningful conversations. So another way to be able to do that and differentiate your content. I'm going to talk more about some of the customizations, but before I get into the customizations, I want to talk about some of the timely emails that we produce. Now, client engagement, you may be a firm that has 300 clients, maybe you have 100 clients, but it's hard to service all of them in the same ways that you would for your top 20, right? It's hard to be timely and warm as you would, but they expect you to be. So the whole goal with timely emails and updates and client engagement is really to be as present as you can without actually having to be there. And so these are great examples of the campaigns and the timely emails. That would be an alternative to like the standard newsletter. Now, ours are much warmer. They are here to create this comfortable place for you and your clients to communicate and also steer the ship of what's going on. So, in our timely emails, we typically create them about every other week, sometimes every week. So, you always have something to share, but our recommendation is to send out a bi-weekly email to your clients about what's going on and keeping them in the loop. So, these are going to be in the library. These are single topic, all customizable. And let's talk a little bit about how you can customize this. You may be wondering, like, does everybody have the same content? Does it go to everyone? We do create content, but it's all customizable for the firms who want something turnkey. That's absolutely an option where you can come in, turn the content on, and be able to send this out to the contacts that you'd like. Now, other firms may be creating some of their content. You want to upload photos or videos or change the text. You have your own tone. You also have the ability to do that. And we have an integration with OpenAI to make it even easier for you to make those adjustments. Any changes you make, very simple. They're highlighted on your compliance document for you to share with your team to get approved. So it's very simple. You have full control and flexibility over our campaigns too. Another big differentiator for us, you are not limited in the ways that you can make this content your own and build the brand that fits you. But we do want to take the majority of the work off your shoulders of actually having to build this. Instead, you can spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes on a campaign and completely make it your own. So that's mostly the content piece, right? There's the majority of what goes in there, but we always get asked, what's the expected outcomes? Now, when we think about our lead generation and our tool in general and the types of content that we create, we can think about it in quantity and quality. The quantity of leads that we typically see per campaign, there's about 4.5%. And then there's the best managed firms, our top 20% of advisors, a lot of them using Freedom 360 with our account managers, sending out campaigns more frequently, growing their list in a steady pace. They can see anywhere from 4 to 18 leads per campaign. Now, if you think about the quality, our integration with Catchlight has helped us obtain some of this data, but 42% of the Snappy Kraken leads, they have over $1 million in investable assets. So when you think about who you'd like to attract and quality of that contact, the content that we produce is largely focused on helping you to attract that. So that goes over some of the leads, but then also some of the expected. And I put Mike on the spot for the video data, but there's actually some in this slide. So a lot of this is built on events and the expected ROI when you introduce email marketing after events and the follow-up. So that long-term nurturing that we looked at earlier. $36 per every dollar spent at Snappy Kraken is what like our advisors see for the event follow-up. Now that can even increase as you start to add additional things like text messages, much faster response rate. You add in video, there's 117% open rate and then 120% higher click-through rate. So it does make a big difference, and you do get out of this what you give. So if you are open to adding those videos, we try to make it as easy as possible. I press them pretty hard, but it's totally up to you. Just some data to be able to see what your expected outcomes could be. Same thing with combining your website and your campaigns, right? Instead of having your website be on an island of itself, combining it with your campaign so that the branding matches, that your language matches, that there's easy contact information for people to get a hold of you and for you to also collaborate with them. There's a 2.3% performance advantage by combining them both with landing page views, clicks, general leads coming from the website too. So if you're running a site now and you're not producing any leads, there are plenty of advisors that are. So definitely take a look at your site. We can also take a look at it too, see how we can make improvements. Now, Mike had brought this up earlier, and we've kind of talked briefly about what Freedom 360 means. That is our done for you option. You can absolutely use Snappy Kraken self-led. We can give you all of the tools, all the automations, all the campaigns to be able to do this successfully, or you can do it with an account manager. Now, I first want to pull up the library and give you a view of what this looks like just very quickly. And then I'm going to go through what you can expect in both cases. So bear with me as I pull this up. So far we've gone through a lot of theory, a lot of strategy, which I think is very important as you're deciding on what's going to be the best tool for yourself. Knowing that the system has a strategy in place is very critical, but also knowing how the platform works is probably important too. So when you first log in, this is going to be what we call your workspace. This is the marketing hub. This is your single sign-on where you can manage everything from one hub. You can manage your content. You can manage your texting platform. We call it Combos, as well as your website. You can have access to the back end of the website too to make small adjustments, but it's all from one place. Another piece that is very important, if I was in your seat as a business owner, this is one of the things that I would want to keep track of as frequently as possible. This is going to be the most timely information. So one, it tells you all about all the new campaigns that are coming out. We just released one about the tariff ruling and the market response this morning. We also came out one with RMD and when do they start? This is a video script. So you're never missing a beat on when the content comes out and what's best to use. Now, in terms of engagement, as you're sending out campaigns over the next couple months, over the next 12 months, over the next, couple of years, your contact list is going to grow, and that's great. But you also have to know who has the most intent. So for yourselves, this engagement queue is quite impactful. It's going to show you your 5 most engaged contacts from last week. These scores that you see, these are lead scores. We call them opportunity scores, and they're based on people's engagement. If they're clicking, if they're opening, and as time goes on, if they don't engage, it'll go down and the contacts will cycle through. But from this screen, you could send a personal memo. You can also send a text message, all based on the activity that they were just interested in. So it gives you a pretty good dynamic of really contacting people. I always get this conversation that I think can be a mistake where people want to start marketing hyper personal. They want to send personal messages out of the gate from every contact that they find. What we see to be a better strategy is to start with a system where everybody goes through something that is relevant to them, but not hyper personal until people start to engage. Then, based on what they've engaged with, you now have more information and you can connect with them on those specific topics, which you can do from this screen. Same thing with new form submissions, all of that will live here. Now, inside of the content library, I'm going to go over what our Freedom 360 account managers will make sure is launched for you on a timely basis. But even if you don't use your account managers, this is what we would recommend you send if you decide to do this with us. So inside of that, we'll go into the content library, and you're first going to see our just released. This is a great overview of what we typically produce in a month, and I'll go through some of these ideas. So if you're thinking about a schedule, it's a bi-weekly email to your clients, as well as an email once a week to your prospects, one social post a week. And then if you do additional things like events, or you have like an NPS score for clients or surveys, onboardings, those are additional things that can go out too. And then you also want to make sure that you touch base on lead gen if that's something that you're focused on. So I'm going to go through all of those. When you first log in, you see a couple items are timely emails. These are particularly for clients, but prospects or centers of influence, these are great for them as well. You're also going to see other items like prospecting campaigns. These are emails and emails and text messages primarily focused on converting. They're going to be on specific topics like business exit strategies or retirement income planning. Then you'll see things that are more educational, like our Visual Insights newsletters. These are ungated. They're really focused on providing additional information and building expertise or credibility. Things like tax literacy quizzes. We have others on legacy and succession planning. But we have about 250 campaigns in the library at all times. And then we also have things like lead gen. So when you get into one of these campaigns, I will just briefly launch one so that you can see. All it needs to do is decide on which one makes sense for you. The tariff ruling. You could go through and make an edit to this if you'd like. All of our content is a drag and drop builder. So it's as easy as choosing to pick up an image, drag it in. You can upload one or you can use one from our stock library. All the sources are down here at the bottom. You're also going to have your branding and disclosures naturally populate. Once it looks good, you'll save and be able to send this to your desired groups. So let's say this is good for our prospects and our clients. I scroll down to my client group. I'll subscribe 269 of them. I'm going to launch this immediately. And now I can know that that's going out. So it takes just a few minutes just to read through, make some customizations, and then decide the contacts that you'd like it to go to. Pretty much rinse and repeat that strategy for all the campaigns that you'd like each month. So that's the game plan. If you would like to have this completely off your plate, that's where our account managers are going to meet with you every 2 weeks for the first 3 months. It's about a half-hour call. They'll figure out what you're trying to accomplish. And then once a quarter, they go over all of the metrics. So when you're thinking about how does everything perform, you can come back into the library and go into an insights that is a much deeper dive. We have a sales pipeline that shows you where your revenue lies based on engagement of your contacts. You're also going to see which campaigns are best performing and which ones are not. And then you're going to see open rates, form submission click-throughs, as well as your web analytics all on one page. So your account manager is going to make sure that your calendar is full. It'll look something like this. If you don't use an account manager, that's fine. Our campaigns are built to just go right on this type of sequence, or they're going to go through all these insights. So every quarter, you know exactly where you're at, how to plan for the quarter to come, and they take the majority of that off of your plate. So there's a lot that comes with our Freedom 360. I think I'm going to pause there. We've gone through quite a bit, so I don't want it to be too much information overload. But if you have additional questions, if you want to talk specifically about what your form needs, you know, we went over an entire strategy, how to attract, nurture, convert, and retain your clients, what the modern growth stack looks like, all the different types of campaigns, the majority of the campaigns in the library. But you have your own needs. So if you would like to take a deeper look based on what your profile and firm is trying to accomplish, you're welcome to book some additional time with me. I think I just dropped a link into the chat. That would be great if you wanted to use that. I also have a QR code I think I can pull up that my amazing team set up. So I'll give you that too. And then anyone that has attended this and wants to take a deeper look and is leaning towards Snappy Kraken, we also have some promos for our office hours that I'm happy to extend. So feel free to use the QR code, book a time directly with me. We can have more of like a consultation for your own firm, or you can use the link in the chat and find a time that works best for you. But I appreciate the time. I don't know if there's any additional questions. I don't see any in the chat, but Mike, do you have anything else that you think is important that I may have missed over the 30 minutes?
I think that was great. Thank you, Kendall. Yeah, we had some Q&A come in, but we've got, a
Okay.
few people on the team answering some of those questions. So I think everything got answered, which is great. But yeah, I think this is awesome. It's a great overview of the platform, right? Again, we got the website product, we have our campaigns product where you get a monthly marketing plan. There's also a call that our CX team does every single month going through all those different campaigns to launch. So it makes it really simple to know what to do. And as Kendall just went over, Freedom 360 is, man, it's one of our most loved products for a reason because, a lot of advisors didn't get into this to be marketers. And so if you love the look of all these campaigns, this content, this automation, and you're thinking, man, it'd be really cool if you guys would just do that for me, we can totally do that. And that's what Freedom 360 is. So yeah, thanks, Kendall. This was awesome. If there's any other questions, throw them in. But otherwise, I think we are pretty good here. Oh, we maybe just got we got one question, but somebody said thanks. You're welcome, Michael. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Hope we talk to you soon.